stench.
All right, this is my first trip down differential lane. I am going to attempt to replace the front and rear pinion bearings and races, and side carrier bearing and races. We're going to check the backlash. I'm going to paint it. We'll check the pattern. I do have the Toyota factory service manual printed out, the pertinent information, and I'm going to try to rebuild this guy and put him in my project truck that I'm rebuilding, and hopefully the truck won't catch on fire or melt the rear differential, and we'll be able to put another couple 100,000 miles on it. So the reason I'm doing it is I can tell that the front pinion bearings probably were starved at some point. There's actually a race, so when the ring gear spins, it shoots gear lube up this channel, and then it lubricates those, and that's really a common thing on these guys. Usually at some point, you don't really ever have to think about that differential fluid, but if it gets low, or your rear oil axle seals leak, which is also a common problem with third-gen Toyota 4Runners, this will get a little low, and so this bearing usually is in rough shape. So stay tuned for some exciting differential bearing replacement. Before I change the shot, actually, and I realized that you can't see the dial indicator, and this way you can. Right now we're up at about 10, and then that's 0. So this guy is running from about 0.00 to 0.0093. So that's a little bit out of spec. It should be between 0.005 and 0.007 is about the number that Toyota gives. So it's a little bit looser than it should be. So hopefully I can reset it with new bearings and get it closer. So like most things in life, nothing goes quite as planned. While I was running this around with my impact, I actually spun this guy right off. This is the first thing that the Toyota service manual suggests that you do, is take this nut off, and then I'll use a 3-job puller here. I'm going to set that up, and we'll pull that guy up. I did check the pattern, which made me a little disappointed because on both sides of the drive and the coast side of the ring gear, it's getting full contact across the entire thing, which probably means that it's pretty worn. But I'm going to go forward with it and see if I can get things back to how they were today, and I'm going to run it again and see what happens. Since this is the first try at this, I'll find out if it's worth doing that or not. Okay, so this is just a garden variety 3-job puller. It's about at the limit of what it's going to do. I have done these before, and yeah, they come off really usually pretty easy once you accidentally remove the locking. Okay, that's good. This is definitely about at the limit of what my 3-job puller is capable of. And so that companion flange should come off fairly easily. I'm not going to replace the dust shield. I think it's probably fine. I think it does say to. I might pop it off of here, and I don't know, maybe it's actually looking a little bit more rustic than I had anticipated. Probably the biggest challenge that I've had when I disassembled one of these before. I didn't put it back together because it was bad anyways, but this seal can actually be a complete bitch to get out of here. It's all rusted in here. I'm going to put some penetrating oil on here. I'm going to let it sit for a little bit and see if that helps out, and then it's basically just a caveman operation to either cut it or break the crap out of it to get it out of this rusty Davy Jones locker. So I'm going to share with you one of my custom built tools. It's basically this piece of steel with a notch cut in it, and make short work of something that definitely wasn't ready to come out of there ever. Okay, there's a slinger inside here, and I'm going to remove the slinger. And then we can actually remove the back side of the pinion. That's all there is to that front. Okay, so I flipped it over. The slinger didn't want to fall out in the bottom. The slinger is just a, I don't know, slings oil, I guess. So if I'm looking forward from the rear of the vehicle, I'm going to call the top right-hand side. I put 2 match marks with a little punch, and on the left-hand side on the top, I put 1 in the corresponding, so I can get these guys back. These are 17s, and these are what, 12s, I think? Yeah, 12s. So I'm just going to zip these guys out. Maybe not zip out. And I'm going to put these guys over in a spot where it's safe in their corresponding position. So I have the luxury of being able to leave this. So I have the luxury of being able to leave this lay out for a bit. You can probably see more content on that too. I'm getting good eye contact across all these. I'm not sure if it's a good shot. And I'll see if maybe I can get that pattern. Like, right. These guys out. Gotta be really careful getting these guys apart. I want these both in the same location. Left-hand side guys coming. Now, this assembly will just want to put it out here. At least that's what last time. So I might be a little bit messy. Okay. Maybe I need to get a little universal guy on those guys up. I just pretty lows. Hang on to that a little too much. I don't need that too much. Alright, see if these guys will want to come out. I probably should have left the caps on while I did this. These are really actually very fine threads, surprisingly. Okay, yeah, you just need a little persuasion. And then these caps, since this is only capped halfway, these guys will actually, you can take them out, but I'm just going to do it enough so I can lift that main assembly out of there. Okay, it's looking good too. These races will fall right out as well. You can see how fine threads these are. You can really, and even though they're ginormous, not sure if that's a word. Okay, there we go. And that whole assembly lifts right out of there. And like I said, if you're not careful, these races will just go falling right off. Right. So I'll have to put this guy over, and because actually, but preload that thing is way too much. Or just hang on to it. It usually doesn't take too much. What is it? It's really like So I'll have to flip this guy back over, and it does. That guy's really in there. That preload on that pinion is way too much. Or the slinger's hanging on to it. It usually doesn't take too much. Boy, I really did something. It's just really locked in there. Okay, I gotta play with this guy. See if I can get my high-tech supplemental light source on the head of a broken off sledgehammer or maul. Alright, I'm gonna have to play with him a little bit. This guy shouldn't be locked up like that. Didn't do anything weird, but okay. Alright, I changed locations. I'm not really sure if this is a good idea or not. Okay, I just wanted to show you. I took it out and I just turned it up. So here's those top bearings, and there's that slinger that I was talking about. And these bearings don't actually look too bad either. They're a little discolored. There's a little bit of stuff. A little bit of look pretty dull on the middle of the bearings. So there's Let's see if we can see in here. So there's the top bearing race, and then there's some kind of oil retainer thing or something with the, so it's like a, kind of like a cup, and the cup is up, the rim of the cup is up on the inside. So I'm going to flip this guy over and put him on the press and then press it out from the other side. Okay, this one's a little bit weird because you have to double. Factory service manual does show you can beat this baby out with a can beat it out with a brass drift or something like that, but if you double stack, not bottoming out, so one press sleeve on top, another top, and then this guy's a 56 D46. And if we flip that guy over to get that orientation, so like I said, there's the race goes like this, and then that cup goes down like it would be holding something. So I did get a new one of these to replace it, although, you know, I don't know, these things are 21 or 22 years old or something like that. You clean them up and they look like brand new. And you can see there's the race. It's got some scratches on it, so they were probably still pretty good, but we got new ones, so we're gonna replace them. All right, we need to get this race out of here, and there's a lip on the, just this very small lip on the back side of this, and we'll show you our secret setup for getting this guy out of here, hopefully in 2 pounds. Okay, here's our secret technique. This guy is an old ice scraper, and he has a round part up here that fits perfectly in here, and then can be held up on that ledge and gives you good contact. And this is a 6-pound splitting maul, and you got to have a holder. Hold, please. Remember? Make sure it's up on that little thing. Move it to a different spot. Make sure it's up on the ledge, otherwise it'll go flying. Did you move it? There you go. Make sure it's up on the ledge. Did it move? No? Okay, it's going to take more than 2 shots. Just gentle. You don't have to be Hulk doesn't have to be angry. It moved that time. I felt it.
Oh god.
Come out?
Yep.
Okay.
Yay.
So, I don't know.
Not the best technique.
It takes quite a bit. I mean, this is a really big, nasty race, and it's really, really pressed in there hard. So, I don't know if I'm looking forward to putting a new one in, but so that's how that guy is now fully disassembled. So now I'm going to tape him up, so I don't get any blasting media overshot on the machine surfaces. I'm going to clean up the outside, and we'll do a little DTM epoxy on it, make it look pretty, and then put it back together and see if we can get the pattern to look right.
Yay.